We have not. I have not had the privilege of Rakana. You had it like one time, correct?
Yeah, one time. Yeah, so I'm excited to get eyes on Vermintide No, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they do here. I mean, there is some diveable positions here, which does favor a bit towards the side of Na'Vi. And again, folks, that is the team that took home the W at Mid-Season Worlds. And this team has not missed a beat here, as they are consistently winning across this tournament, a team that just really performs at these lands.
Yeah, good Jeff map right here. And if I'm going to say, if you want to go ahead, they have the aggression there, and Na'Vi, what you just said. And FlyQuest can take some time to adjust here at the beginning of things. And so I want to see them attack the Vanguards head on, as we have our Mantis ban early from what you expect from FlyQuest. But it's going to be the Imma they want to take away from FlyQuest on the opposition now. And that's going to be Vess's role a little bit. We know he's a dangerous mag, but I like the Imma to, kind of get rid of the dive threat.
Yeah, I think that Vess really pops off on mag. I think he, in my personal opinion, one of the best mags in this game right now. Finds a lot of neutral picks and does not miss a ton of those meteors. Struggled a little bit yesterday on a few of the matches, but has owned up to that mistake and says will not happen again. And that's what I think you need to have as a player at this level. You need to take accountability and learn from your mistakes and not blame, right? It's all about taking accountability, and I think all of these players do that very well. Na'Vi as well, a team that when they lose have said to me, you know what, we just didn't show up and it's on us and we're going to bounce back. And I think you need that. Both these teams incredibly strong, both of them undefeated. I'm so stoked for this as we say goodbye to Adam and Cap.
Yeah, gonna go ahead and get rid of the Loki there. Obviously, you don't want to have any of that damage boosting ability for the Mantis that they are going to be able to save. And with the Mantis there, that is going to fuel one man, the man full of energy over there, and what they can do with that damage up. We saw that work for success a little bit for OUG. Obviously, came up short there at the end, but fueling your best players is one way to do it. Captain America, trust me, is an absolute fiend, so we are going to get that ban rolling for them. So you can expect the Venom swap over most likely. Psylocke Protect is interesting. Oh, hello there too. Yeah. Ship, I mean, there's a lot to break down.
Yeah, I mean, another ban towards Trust Me with that Venom. They really like that damage boost Venom composition, so they do not want him to be able to make that happen. And again, in that more divey front line is where Trust Me feels comfortable, so removing that is going to be the play.
Yeah, you know what, Blaine's right in there with the ban. I gotta say, we see this a lot where teams attack one player, right? You try to find the weak point, kind of like the pillar, the foundation, if you will, of the team, and not saying the most limited hero pool, but like the biggest difference maker, if you will, on what to get rid of early, and that's kind of what we're seeing in the attacking strategy of it all. Taking a look here at what we've got up above, again in blue is going to be Na'Vi, and FlyQuest is going to be there down below. Energy on the Psylocke, I expected that. Jerky v Energy, man, is going to be pure cinema.
And we begin right now, setting the pace here on Domination as we see the rotation there. FlyQuest versus Na'Vi. Who comes out on top? Who sets the pace? Domination, very much a tone setter. There has been conversations of, oh, you know, if you win in Dom, it doesn't always count, quote unquote. But I'll tell you what, it does definitely get the momentum shifted in your favor as we start off. Right now, composition's on screen. It looks like FlyQuest is going to put Spark Chief over there on that Venom that Trust Me loves so much. And we will be seeing Vess on that Magneto. Vision, very, very strong on that Jeff. Some big plays off map. Energy on that Psylocke. Zelos on the Invis. And on Na'Vi's side.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it here on Na'Vi, I got to say, with this altogether, best of three, the domination matters that much more, man. It really does. And on Na'Vi, yeah, having Jerky to match the energy, we typically see that whenever they find the other. Luna on for Crook here is going to be a look that I want to go ahead and try to focus on early. Fate has been able to swap over to a lot. Cloak's been a comfort pick there as of late, but the Raccoon is so good here in the Dom early. Best, I will say, is my favorite Magneto. Can absolutely go crazy with those Meteor M's and what he can do in the neutral. Trust me, though, showing off right away. Na'Vi being aggressive. Hey, listen, as you know Na'Vi says, they're showing it right here.
And we begin now with a dive early on here from Spark Chief, forcing out that E early on. Good tackle there as a good escape once more from Energy. Trust me, like a very strong Emma. Not always as frequent, but very, very consistently strong. A ton of damage out towards the backline of Vision, who was able to escape in that moment. And the pressure is being held here by Fly, but very low in HP, because that is what Emma does. Bully that front line very low again. The spin to win here from Jerky, gonna find one. Trust me, onto Zelos, and they will retake this point early on, or hold this point, excuse me, and get that percentage started.
Yeah, you want to know a big difference right now between these two teams? Hey, one team up available, one not. When you have the Echoes rolling for Raj, for Jerky, Energy, it's going to be tough to match. And so he highlights that early. It's going to go over to the Hela. Tough to match that, right? The Echoes can just speed you up so quickly.
Yeah, there's a lot of value in that. Not only do you get double shields there from Rajaro on that Magneto, but you can have essentially almost an invisibility iframe there from Jerky when you're on that Psylocke, and it helps you win those 1v1s immensely. So there is going to be that switch up, and Vision also going to be making the switch to that more traditional comp we've mentioned before with that Helen Namor energy already going to find one through the Psylocke. Jerky not able to make that happen as Vess finds that neutral pick without using an ultimate again. FlyQuest turning this right back in their favor. They just have to get this point early if they want to turn a better chance. 36%. Trust me, going to commit ult here. Energy going to find one. Crook comes right back from the res. The BRB from Fate. Trust me, still holding this space and owning for as long as possible. And that's exactly what they're looking to do as they now bring out the dance floor here from level 1 Crook to bide even more time and get the team back.
Yeah, they're really committing. Oh,
wow!
My Legend is dead. I mean, what an absolute huge hit and pop from Energy there. If he doesn't nail that, it's most certainly going to be the end of the Goddess of Death, but instead, the 1-2 Thorns with the name written on it of Star-Lord. And I didn't love that commit early there from Trust Me with the seduction. I get what they were trying to do in the stall, and then they all went with it, right? Crook into obviously what Naga was trying to do as well, but man, FlyQuest not only got the point back, locked and loaded as well, buddy.
Yeah, I think the idea there was they were just going to wait on ults as long as humanly possible, hoping that the team would be able to get back to point and still have that dance floor, at least keeping the rest of the team up on point. But, I mean, again, just some really good focus on damage there, giving them the lead. Rajaro now going to walk forward and try to take this back quickly. 57% is still a decent hold on point 1. Out goes the Sia from Fate. That is deleted instantly. Cooper going to match that right back on Mantis. Here goes a big meteor. Does this land? Weak and throws. Tries to get an off angle. Rajaro not able to make that work as Vess, Cooper, and the rest walk backward together. Zelos now going to be playing behind the shield. Still, the team in the side of FlyQuest doing a great job on that retake, dropping back and resetting. Everyone healthy once more as Vision and Energy now get 2. FlyQuest looking lights out in the comp that they know and love and has not been banned out. Still going to keep the pressure as Energy gets a 2-piece. The level 1 Crook finds Vision. Energy again, why don't you make it 3? Are you kidding me?
Gets a passive pop on that on top on Raj there. Now, if you're looking at what they do, the adjustments made so quickly. You know Energy loves his side lock, but he's like, you know what? Let me go with the Hella, get that mid-range battle going. The sightlines are easy, especially when the walls are broken here. That's what you want to see here from FlyQuest. Still has that Goddess to throw up. The sustainability in the invisible boundary, invest moments away from the slam dunk he does best.
Yeah, and we're going to see a change in comp here from Navi to try to match that back as Naga is going to be on that Phoenix now to try to find a different solution. Again, FlyQuest did a very good job after losing point early on and adjusting composition. Now Navi trying to find their answer to do it right back at them. Level 1 Crook holding on with the dance floor. Trust me here with that Psionic Seduction, but you see Energy, Goddess of Death. You do have that invisible boundary. You have the Meteor M and the Horde coming in. The big old whale to land on top. So there's a lot of answers right now. Let's see who comes out on top. Vess.
That's what he does best, right? I mean, he just continues to get that neutral pick early. Jerky, I wanted to see them try to either get Cooper's ult out or just try to get him out of the match entirely there with 70% in climbing. That's a huge one to get unable to climb up for that next bit of sustain. Trust me, going to get Energy, the biggest threat on the field. That's going to certainly open up things, but Vision looks to make this a tougher take than they wanted. Best with the neutral as well. They're getting it done the old-fashioned way, Ship.
Are you kidding me? Still, I thought they overcommitted there. I didn't think that was worth it, but they're still holding on point, and out goes an answer from level 1 Crook, forcing that out. Naga gonna be ready here soon with the Ensong Inferno to come in heavy. Nobody falling just yet. They're coming back with the portal immediately, and they're still holding point. Vess gonna find Rajaro once more. Come on now, Vision onto Jerky, and they take map 1.
The V's getting it done, bro. They just did it with the fists, man. I mean, nothing was done outside of a Triton and a ball of metal, and that's all they needed there. And they match ults, bro. That was, and I got to talk about the sustainability of the Venom too to keep things sustained and keep the point on lock for them. Dude, that was, man, FlyQuest, when they're playing on all cylinders, man, they are scary.
Yeah, I mean, Navi has looked so good throughout this whole tournament, but I'm telling you, this seems to be a comp that FlyQuest just can't get a hold of. If they get a hold of this composition and they damage boost something like Energy, who's got 7 finals, or even Vess now with 7, and you know what, I don't even doubt that they're going to put some damage boost there, because why not? Vess is so consistent in these neutrals. 13-1. Again, Navi has the skill. Can they bounce back?
Yeah, you talked about it, right? What was the big difference maker? Vision was playing Namor before it was cool. I mean, this guy has been playing Namor for so long on Shroud X. Yeah, back in the day was the best. I mean, we literally see the best Namor. And now he's able to play it into a meta so favorable. And when you have Energy for the team up, man, on Hella, they do go for a different look here, though. And so they're going to, I think what they're predicting here is Navi's going to adjust. So let's go ahead and adjust to it as well. And guess what? They guessed perfectly. They switched back over. Naga went over to the Atom, so we did have a Jeff look for a second. They might switch back after they see that again.
Yeah, Energy, they love using that speed boost out the door too, which is another one of those niche, like, smart things to do. So always smart to pop that Jeff up for a moment, but they're very, very strong on that Jeff either way. So it's always an option for them, exactly like you're saying. We see now Cooper does have one ult available here with the Resurgence ready to launch, but Rajaro's Meteor M could be the answer to that if it finds value. Coming in heavy, Sparchief doing a great job here on the Venom, just drawing attention. Use those cooldowns. E-Pop maybe a little bit too early. Rajaro coming in heavy on Energy Hoop with a great escape there with a very fast bird. Jerky going to take out Vision, try to get point early on as Navi is up a number now. Make that 2 on a Zelos. Do I see 3 here from Jerky? Oh, no, I don't. As Energy turns that right back. Rajaro going to find Cooper, and Naga going to bring back Fate and more.
An absolute Grim Reaper himself on the top end there. And it was good to get Vision out early. You know, they're going to go with into the splash zone, because if you have yourself the Namor whale to really get the kickback, the knockout, that is how you get things rolling for the team. Listen, Navi, FlyQuest, this is just a matchup. 2 on fire. Even the servers can't take it. I got to take a little second of a break here. But yeah, breaking down what we saw, at least Navi looked to get right back on track. For me, man, it's just how dangerous FlyQuest is in the pure mechanics in the neutral.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing, though, so far from Navi. Them switching over to that Warlock comp has already shown success. It adds a little more hit scan to the back there from Naga and the Rez, right? They saw value on some of those ults. Immediately, everyone's right back in the fight. They have point priority, and that's what they do best. Navi does a great job of stalling the point, and that's where on first map, when I saw them lose it like 45%, I was like, something's not looking so right with their comp, and they must need to change stuff up, but they found the answer, at least so far.
Yeah, the answer for that was Energy throwing a couple thorns and getting rid of Naga there pretty quickly. You know, for me, you got to highlight something huge. There was one roster change, and it was Melio going from Navi over to Citadel, right?
Yeah.
Guess who was the add-in player for that? Melio. Yeah. So now you have this kind of new adjustment for Navi to try to get things rolling, and Melio did play a big part on that team, so it's going to be interesting as we continue to see them. Obviously, none of them have been defeated yet, so we're seeing these two teams facing stranger tides, if you will, between it, and this is already such a good matchup here, Ship.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think this team is looking strong. Both sides are looking strong, but you know who else is strong right now in the meta? That is Namor. As we look over towards Namor's new skin, personally, if you're a Namor main, I would have to check this thing out. I mean, this thing is so cool. A lot of these new skins, obviously, in this Halloween season coming in here. Dia de los Muertos style, looking beautiful.
Oh, that Spanish tongue was good there, Shim. Al caliente, my friend, as you look at the dance, the move, and the shake there, giving little Coco vibes as well. Love to see it here. But yeah, man, overall, I mean, what a great hero to highlight with what we saw from Vision just moments ago, throwing down the Tritons. And the whale is ready when we come back. You know, he was picked early in that first fight. So, you know, typically when we go off a pause, it's right back into the action. Look for Giganto to make his big appearance.
Yeah, a little bit of a sound change there, too, on this skin. But, yeah, I'm curious to see if they're going to be able to switch comp up, if they want to say this. But look at these squids, man. How cool is that?
And the sound effect there is awesome from the whale as well. Just a little bit more of that echo. And hello, can we get this map? What map are we on here? I would love to see this nice little bit of, again, tip to the homage of what they're called back into. And again, the Pumpkin Jeff we saw earlier, Jeff O'Lantern, what a name, what a hero. But yeah, listen, when it comes to what we're seeing early in the matchups, trust me, as that anchor of the team, you just talked about them having that sustain, I think they've been able to identify that pretty early.
Yeah, see, my thing is, I don't know if Fly is going to need to change comp again. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing, how they adjust. They now have seen the new comp that they're going into. Do they want to try to go in there heavy, or do they want to go back and readjust the composition? Because the Adam Warlock adds a whole new element to the game.
No, for sure. And one of the reasons I pointed out the Jeff swap early, obviously, yeah, for that particular fight was the bubble to get them out. But what a great answer to Adam typically is just the quick Jeff hunting for the prey, as it typically is. Energy left alive 2 on that last map. We're going to see if he's able to sustain and not get that early stagger for the team, because the rest of them are just moments back. Again, we're setting the stage for whenever we do go into our map once again. But yeah, it has been kind of the effect of what Energy can do on the opposition. And, you know, I expect him to flex over back to Psylocke if things do get a little bit rougher than right now it's going their way.
Yeah, that's not a bad answer. I think Phoenix is pretty good too, because obviously when you come back from Warlock All, for those who don't know, you have 80% additional HP, and that's that overhealth. If you come in with Phoenix at the right time, all that's immediately deleted, and you're doing damage as well, and then it's very, very dangerous to try to, you essentially just put them in a very dangerous position. It's very readable to know where that ult's going to be. It's all about positioning. It's all about timing. And one thing that we need to know, when you're playing Warlock, which I think some teams that maybe are less experienced running the Warlock hop, and that by no means is Navi, is essentially when do I ult? And if I do ult with Warlock, the team has to essentially end. You have to go in there and commit fully, knowing that that ult's available, because if you're positioning yourself for that fight, your team has to know that and fully commit.
Which is going to give an advantage to aggressive teams right off the bat. We were actually highlighting this a lot when we were checking out the VODs of yesterday and teams that did struggle. But again, 4-3-2-1, we find ourselves on the Warlock, as we just said, with Naga on ult, ready to go. Energy off that top end, and everyone else joining back into the fray as FlyQuest make their way back to this very point. Navi, though, with that early hit on the point, is going to climb up, and they're going to go aggressive, man. Love to see it.
Yeah, and here we go now as Fate is holding on to that Fate of both worlds here with the dance floor. Crook going to have copy as well, and that's a lot of time to be able to stall on point, and that is what Navi is looking for here, as they are already 20% in climbing. FlyQuest has some answers. Vest may need to land a big meteor here to make that shut down. Maybe even we'll see the whale coming in from Vision, which is launched right now towards the back line. It does land, but does not find too much, just gets rid of a clone, or yes, actually one, as Spare Chief comes in.
I saw that too. There was like an elimination, but none on there, and that was going to be more from it now as we continue to see the rain from above the AC-130 in the form of the Goddess of Death there, quickly getting the picks needed. Jerky, big one at that. Vest does not miss these, but there's going to be a Magneto shield on top of the nice little move up there from Naga. Now looking at the shield up, the Surge is out as we get the healing reduction. Rolling with it, Vision to find one, Vest the other. Who needs the Meteor Imp when you got the old primary, my friend?
Yeah, another, just compliment to those neutral picks. Good positioning there to body block, or just not enable that additional percentage on point. 51% for Navi is not their traditional stall, but it is enough to give them a comfortable start here, as we see Cooper ready with that resurgence. Vision with another whale already. Rajaro has an answer here with that Meteor Ram. Naga with the res, though, and Jerky could be terrifying with the scariest dance in the game, the Dance of the Butterfly.
Absolutely, and that's where the Imma ban isn't as important because of what Vest can do there, and all together that damage up that they're getting from Natus is a mistake we may not see again, as we have the dance execution trying to find its prey, but we got Jerky instead going down. Nothing going to be slashing about that, but now with the whale down, the splash zone is on, and the fear is out. Slam down is the dunk, and it's going to find no one here as they rotate down there behind the stairs. Great job putting the pressure on his FlyQuest, but Navi has everything it takes skill-wise. Naga's had this ult for quite some time now, circling around the sun a couple of times. We'll see if they're able to break through. This is a team when they get the point, they can hold on typically, as it's now 51-51.
And we will now start up with another huge fight. We will see some Qs popped here. Fate and Naga ready, and again, this means that Navi will likely play very aggressively. There's nothing to lose when your team can come back heavy here with that Karmic Revival. Vest building that ult, does now have it. Energy Spark Chief as well, right on the same tail. Vision is gonna find one on a Trust Me, and there will be that Undead Squid now as you're trying to, just trying to do enough damage to Naga, and it's just not able to pressure through it.
Yeah, Venom not always the best to burst down there. What I'm watching here with Vest, look for him to break the Imma shield to be able to then land the Meteor Imma a lot cleaner, is what we're trying to see if he can land down. Vest, though, not connecting on that one. Jerky gonna find the best of Cooper. Good night, Guardian of the Galaxy, and Mantis once again gonna be Crook, keeping the team up back-to-back shows. Tough to land now as we're gonna have Energy flying towards his objective, but Raj quickly finds and ends that fate. But once again, it's the Vision and the Chief that continue to give this team vision of the win here. 95% and climbing, gonna go back to the point, but they will touch the 99, which is ever so important as they do look to restack and reload.
Yeah, that's all they were looking to do there. They just didn't want to overcommit, which it doesn't look like they did at the moment. They're still holding on to Vision with that whale. Jerky going to find Cooper, making it a little bit slower. They're going to just bide time on this hold right here until the team is ready. Cooper should be back in a second now, right through, and as the team once again will re-engage, Navi is going to have Jerky with that ult. It looks like there is the drop back now, and the change right back is Energy going back to that Hela, and the team is now on the high side together, essentially making sure that they can't get held in that alleyway, which is a very difficult spot to push through, which is what we saw FlyQuest doing right after they took point. So now that the team's out here, but Rajaro gonna find one early, and that is a huge neutral pick. Vision, though, is gonna cancel Jerky mid-ult and shut that down. As Vision again with the whale, does that one land? Up goes Rajaro, bang! But no, not gonna find one even through that ultimate. Once more, Vision now in a dangerous spot, is gonna be a little bit low, but gets immediately healed back up. Vest just playing around those shield cover, 97%, back and forth in OT.
Yeah, Vest now is going to get the huge pick there on Fate. Big props to Navi being able to locate, knowing Energy's not going to stay on the Strange. Found him off and wandering there as the Hela, born again, ready again, win again, turning the wipe to a win potentially. Naga's going to pay the ultimate price for bringing his team back from the death. Raj going to find Vision. Big one at that. Vest has hit these all the time. They're huge. They're huge, but they do not land that time now as the quick shield able to protect the team. Now, trust me, once again, all eyes on the leader of this team. Trusting himself to get it done. Fate's going to have the show to provide extra comfort. Energy low, looking for the quick health pack to respawn, gonna dump on, but no one's there on the point chip.
Eyes out, cries out, gets the team walking towards, and they do pay for it as we are heading to Map 3 Imperial Institute. And this is going to be a heater. Everybody now, nerves through the ceiling, heading and fighting for the #1 seed, Na'Vi versus FlyQuest.
We knew it was going to be just an absolute bloodbath here.
Of course.
I want to highlight again, to find Energy there wandering off because the strange portal went on. You would expect everyone to go through, but no, they're like, okay, we know the swap's going to happen. They've studied this team, found Energy early, the momentum dies from there, right? And so that's exactly was the path to success. And nothing able to land there for what they wanted in FlyQuest. Even with the early trade getting jerky out, trying to do their best, their vision goes down. After that, 10-10-10 across the board for FlyQuest, and the stats looking a lot better on the other side of things.
Yeah, a lot more even across the board there for the side of, FlyQuest. But again, I mean, this team is bouncing back. I think Na'Vi has found their solution. These teams are playing chess, and everybody else is playing checkers right now because they are consistently shifting comps and trying to find a way through it. And I'll tell you what, this is clearly working out for them. Even after losing that point at 51%, they bounce back, they stay calm, and they take home Map 2. Cooper now going to reset on the high side, trying to deal some damage, get that ult charged quickly. Fate is going to have that ult there for Na'Vi. FlyQuest doesn't have much answer early on in terms of ultimates, so odds are in Na'Vi's favor for this early point take.
No, absolutely, Cooper. One of the best, top 3 in my opinion, strategists in this game currently of Marvel rivals in the early scene. Spark Chief now swinging around, trying to get some early pressure rolling. And yeah, to your point, they can either use this and try to save up the tank. They're trying to ult track and see what they have rolling on the opposition. Now it's going to be just right into the fray, popping the shield. Ooh, not a good swing there. Forced to take the elevator. The Venom does not want to do that. And the chase down, love to see. It's going to be Spark Chief suffering early. Can he get out? Doesn't look like it. Good play by the strategist, keeping him up and ready to go as the Arm of Dangerous lands down from Cherokee, trying to find that Kraken impact, having no impact this time around. Raj goes down, goes up. Another dip dodge. Getting out of there, the patches O'Houlihan south from Energy.
Energy is going to find one right after that, too, on Inaga, who likely has the resin. Yes, right back in it. Again, FlyQuest did a great job baiting out ultimates and not allowing them to get value. Energy is going to find Jerky now, just playing lights out here, finding these headshots. Cooper going to go down from Rajaro with some really good movement there, using the flight to find a high side angle. Vest, though, right back at Trust Me, as again, the res comes through here. The copied up, the double res composition here from Na'Vi is going to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, we had, 2 Atoms out there popping it at the same breath, if you will. That is absolutely a communication. Fumbling there a bit for Na'Vi. Cannot have a mistake like that at this level of play against the #1 seed as well, and that is definitely going to be a tough one at that. It happened at the same tick. I kid, maybe Adam res now is what the calm was, and
Great
they both
call.
took it as their, call here. Shiv, Vest does have the ult for them.
Yeah, brutal. Odds are Level 1 Crook had that copy or had been holding it, and maybe was in a spot where it was necessary. There, there is some potential reasons as to why it happened like that, but yeah, that cannot be what is going on here. And oh my goodness, Vision, come on now. 2 immediately found up on this high side angle, throwing those squids out. And you know what happens when you land those squids? Undead squids pop out and the team just starts walking in. Wow, FlyQuest with 30% on now and Na'Vi in a dangerous position.
This is one of the hardest maps whenever you get pushed into the spawn just to readjust, right? I mean, there's so little room for error. You can take the high ground as these Namors and Hellas to rain down quite literally the hell from above. Vest able to continue to have a defensive approach too. And again, when you lose both those strat ults, now you just have to completely rely on Fate to sustain you through it. Vest can delete that if so chooses and lands. And Vision, though, getting a little low, forced to pop the important blessing to the deep as he finds himself looking for the prey, and they're all calling on Vest and Vision right now.
Good positioning here by Spark Chief. Fate and Trust Me going to come in heavy. Down goes Vision early. Well done by Na'Vi as they're continuing this pressure forward. Trust Me getting a few trans, but it is not enough. Vest in a dangerous spot potentially. Oh, thinking about kicking down into the basement to buy more time. It's essentially a forced stagger again. Rajaro going to find Energy though as down goes Spark Chief, just trying to stay on the point for as long as possible, but goes down and will give them that take.
Vest has 1 health. He's had 1 health, just struggling to find health back that whole time, and he does at that. That was a good recap, man. Actually, a very solid win for Na'Vi. That needed to win with just the neutral. Was able to get a lot of it done that way here as Spark Chief. Almost out as well. Naga does find the best of him. That is a brutal blow when you look at things here. And when you go in and measure what we have ult economy-wise, again, just slow down here, FlyQuest. You're up 72% if you need it. But Na'Vi, I'm just blown away with the continued resilience of this team. Again, we showed it there against what they did on
so
Envy.
smart.
Now here they are again.
Yeah, they're just so smart. I mean, they don't overcommit there. They don't use strategist line ults when it looks even dicey, even if they lose one to a pick, because they know they're still up in numbers. I mean, again, this team is just so cerebral. That is their strength, and they consistently find value in that, and that's how they win their maps. FlyQuest coming in heavy, though, with these ults shortly, but it's going to be matched right back. It's all about who gets more value with these Qs. Jerky going to start off here early on. Everybody going to stack together to make sure that doesn't get too much value. Cooper pops all at the same time, though, and now the team's got to walk heavy as Vest finds Naga, and that's not a good. Another double stack as Energy hits the sky. Vest with the Meteor Ram, Vision with the Whale, but Vestas lands on Fate, who does have an ult, and that is another huge trade for them as Naga reses right back and brings the team with it.
Yeah, Energy trying to locate where that was happening, and yeah, both one seeds here essentially getting double res or double support ults is not what you want to see, but you know what? Hey, blow for blow, it's going to match. History finds a way to repeat itself. Vision is going to get the hit there on Crook, and Energy continues to get it done, and wow, what a quick put back. Ults do not matter right now. I mean, they're just able to throw down. We're just seeing mechanics at the finest level of play, Shib.
Yeah, FlyQuest is looking lights out, but so is Navi. One of the things that I like just to call out here is, yes, they do have that Luna, which they are switching now over to Cloak, but the double res makes a lot of sense because when you have this amount of anti-heal on Fly, or the healing reduction, a lot of these strategist line ultimates aren't as worth it as bringing them back into the fight. So a really good comp, but once again, they just got to show up and take this back. FlyQuest, though, holding on to the point right now, 93% and counting, 73 there for Navi. No ults available. There's been a lot of value in the neutrals throughout these battles as Spark Chief has a huge slam, bringing up the back line.
Yeah, it's looking like FlyQuest is going to have a lot of ult economy just advantage here. Cooper's going to be right here, and if I'm them, pop the undefeatable right away. There's not going to be something to match it. You just saw all those other ults come off cooldown. Vision, though. They don't need it. Friends, gather around. FlyQuest, gather around me, Cooper says, as they continue the relentless effort. FlyQuest takes map 1 against Navi. It's the best versus the best, and we found the results on map 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's a comp that I think we will see changed up. They are so dominant there with that team up with Hella Namor and Navi. You know, I liked the idea of their solution. Don't really go down that route where healing means everything. Instead, just res the team and consistently fight and try to stay on point. But the problem was there's some overcommitment, there was some double stacking ults. But what do you know? The Magneto here in this tournament that's looked insane. Vest coming through with the MVP.
Once again, just farms it. And yeah, you know, when it comes to both these strats, you know, ulting at the same time, the bit more punishing one is the Atom and the Loki, just because of the length of time it does take to go ahead and get that. And just the where the fight happened to be, because you had the Psylocke ult happen, that's what triggered it. And of course, that's just an impulse thing usually. You try to calm that beforehand and say, okay, if this does happen, we know it's coming, you ult first. But that time, both just trying to stay alive, you know, cannot fall there. As we take a quick look at the highlights and what we saw there, 38, 41, 35 E-limbs for FlyQuest, absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, and we're going to see some strong play from both sides. Both teams looked very, very good in that matchup. Again, it is a domination, and we've seen a lot of success in midseason from Navi on Dom as they do a great job stalling point. But some big plays here in these neutrals are what brought FlyQuest out on top. So many neutral picks there from this crazy combination.
And one thing I think Navi does so well is their team coordination. And when you have domination, it's almost just this mechanical matchup, right? It's almost just like pure raw talent, a bloodbath, as we like to say. When you go to these other game modes, that's where a lot of other attributes can shine. And that's how they won that midseason final. So expect them to bounce back. They get to pick the map as well, as we have an electrifying matchup here. Match number 2, Atlanta, Georgia. Shit, Cozy, bringing it to you.
Come on now, this has been insane already, and this is what the battle for 1 seed here in this bracket can look like. Again, Navi and Fly duking it out in every single one of these maps exactly like we wanted, and I'm telling you, I'm having a ton of fun. I can't wait to see what they choose on map 2.
Air guitaring over here, man. No Luna song right now, just jamming it out. And listen, guys, this is our kind of early preview potentially of what we will see there on the biggest stage, literally the biggest stage in Rivals history to date, coming in just a couple of days here as they get ready, y'all. Listen, we need a breath of air here after we just saw an absolute crazy domination. So reset, reload. We'll see you in just a second. We're going to take a quick break.
ones have what it takes to become the best of the best.
The fight is gonna happen right here, right now.
Hey, we're FlyQuest.
We're here in Atlanta.
And you're watching Marvel Rivals Grand Finals.
Of that energy, the energy not on the shop, but that was like you're watching Disney Channel vibes, kind of like, you know, you're watching FlyQuest. Hey, listen, man, Na'Vi has everything it takes to make this thing back interesting, and I cannot wait to see the talent unfold here as we continue on to what is this absolute awesome matchup. Easily, for me, talent-wise, the matchup of the day.
Yeah, it's been a ton of fun just to witness the raw, like you're saying, talent on these teams in their various hero picks, and they've been rotating. Again, it's a chess match with these teams, and again, we talk about the cerebral picks of Na'Vi. They always have a solution. I liked what they were doing. It just couldn't quite execute it at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, this is where I'm just like, I love being a fan of this game. You know, like, it's so easy to cast when you just love what you're watching, and at the highest level of play, I'm like writing it down. I'm like, all right, okay, if I plan on playing Hell, I'm just going to follow what Energy did there, vice versa. Trust me on the cap. So cool to see it all put together. Big ban phase, I think we're going to see some adjustments for Na'Vi as well.
Yeah.
And maybe how they approach, you know, we saw that in the last matchup. Get rid of the name or the Hella if needed.
Yeah, and again, just talking about like just being a fan of this. While we're casting, you guys should see us. We're just bumping each other, hyping each other up. It's just a ton of fun to witness. But now, again, folks, for those who do not know, this is going to be a selection from Na'Vi in terms of mode and map, either Convoy or Convergence. So it's balls in their court. It's all dependent on what they want to choose, and they have a lot of set plays and some huge just cerebral team comps. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they try to run and what they change in terms of their bans against Fly.
For 100%, the Emma, I think, is not going to be banned this time around because it just doesn't have as big as an impact. We just showed it there. You cannot give the damage up to FlyQuest. And Vest is like, fine, I'll play Magneto. No problem, right? So I expect the Emma to be swapped out with the Mantis. Then they don't have to do the Loki ban followed by the Mantis save. And it just kind of opens everything else up for that pick ban phase, y'all. Listen, we saw a lot of Adam Warlock. I like to call it Marvel Zombies because it's kind of rising from the dead there. And speaking of Marvel Zombies, an absolute insane game mode added. If you have not played, I mean, this has been all the buzz around the block.
Yeah, I've had hands-on with this PvE mode, and it's been a ton of fun to play as I was up there on the leaderboard for a little bit.
Yeah, dude, Blade is the MVP here, man. Blade is absolutely disgusting. If you're having a tough time in the old Nightmare 4, Blade is the answer to it. You can build up buff stacks and ready to go. I mean, this pretty much looks like what we've seen Punishers, at least in this tournament, without the buffs. But, man, what an insane cool mode.
Yeah, and you know, we saw a little magic. You know, maybe we'll see some more magic. We're still definitely up in the conversation for playable, maybe even in that meta. But again, ton of fun to play. A lot of different options to make these builds stronger here. And you just, you know, you work your way through the difficulties. You eventually go to a more endless mode as you head to a 20-round mode and try to get through some of these bosses. This is so much fun to play. Make sure you get hands-on. I know the audience has been loving it, and I'm telling you, if you haven't tried it, give it a chance because it is a blast.
Dude, because here's the thing. No question, Marvel Rivals represents Marvel Heroes the best I've seen in any video game. And you know, hero shooters, people vibe with it, they love it, but people just want to play their favorite hero, and that's what you get to do here in Marvel, the Zombies. Getting this PvE mode, I think, you know, testing the waters a little bit. Guess what? They found a huge fish here because everyone is loving it. We want more, Nettie.
Yeah. I've been seeing the feedback consistently. Give us more heroes, give us more maps, because I'll tell you what, these devs just consistently find ways to shake up the way this game works, whether it's patching, whether it's new maps, whether it's new heroes, or adding a mode like a PvE mode that has been insanely successful in terms of just numbers and fun. Like, I just have so much fun on this, and that, you know, finding more ways to play this game and still having a good time, I can't tell you the last time that's happened.
No, for sure, and it's a good cycling of game modes that we've had. You know, we've going back all the way to the Big Brain Blast, and we've had the Ultron Auto Chess, if you're a fan of that.
Oh,
you know, I believe that will come back eventually with even more fine-tuning, and so excited to see, you know, them kind of, again, test the water, see what, you know, the audience is liking here, and again, you're looking at the charts, it's booming right now with Marvel, Zombies, and Rivals. But again, speaking of it, I do expect to see Zombies ourselves here with more of that Adam comp, what we've kind of come to see.
Yeah, I mean, that comp is definitely in the meta. There's no doubt about it. But like, apparently it's not always the end-all be-all solution, because even through with that, you know, we talked about even zombie comp, talk about the zombie squids out there, right? Every single time you got a pick there with Vision, it would just bounce right back. So let's go back and you and I, you talked about how they got to change the ban phase here to go against Fly. Again, this is going to be Navi's selection in map. What do you think they're going to, you know, what do you think
I think we're taking it to Asgard. I'm pretty sure Na'Vi does like themselves some Intercell path. If I would expect something to happen here, it could be that map that we see them pick to go ahead and reset and reload. But, you know, and FlyQuest, they're good on Yggdrasil for sure. I wouldn't say it's like their highlight of where they play best or anything like that. FlyQuest kind of, you know, they're good around the board, but Na'Vi, I expect to go that way. They could take it over here to Hall of the Jolly as well, or just throw us a complete curveball. We're actually finding out right here with you guys that is going to be Hall of the Jolly. It was one or the other I thought was going to go, and again, we get the pleasure, man. We're going to Wakanda twice, my guy.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this map, and I haven't had a lot of eyes on it throughout this cast, so I'm stoked to see it back-to-back here in our 2 matches together, but it does lend itself a lot to that 3-2-1 composition that we know that these teams can run. Trust me, does a good job of that, but he wasn't allowed to play any of those dive vanguards, and I think that was a big win in the banning phase of FlyQuest. Now, they've got to turn that back around. I agree that I don't know if I've loved the Emma ban because, you know, if you leave Magneto open, typically Vest is going to be on that Magneto.
Sure, for sure. And I would say a couple things to look out for. First, Jeff ban could be happening a lot more here now. Also, this leans to the aggressiveness of Na'Vi, right? Try to get that point 1 immediately. If I'm then go on offense first. Sometimes the team that picks usually likes the other team to go on offense, but you go on offense first. We're seeing that right here, right now. Here's the deal. Energy on Hela, point 1, it's just not there. It's so tough to get those sightlines. So bring that aggression into momentum, make them struggle early on point 2. You can get that point just as easily. Now we continue to see they're going to go with that Imma ban once again to slow down and stop anything that they would have against the dive here. And now we're finding ourselves with the same probably Loki ban here.
Yeah, again, these teams have been working on a ton of things behind the scenes, and trust me, obviously, is a very, very strong Emma player, but I'm curious if they will allow that Namor composition to come back through here with Hela, because if you take that high side, even on defense, although, you know, maybe right where the poke can get dove down, if you remove all the dive here as we say goodbye to Mantis and Venom again, so they don't have that simple one-shot combination. Again, folks, for those who maybe don't know, if you damage boost with Mantis and you go under with Venom, if you do have something like a Luna there with the damage boost, you can take out anyone through any combination immediately. But when you double damage boost like that, but outside of that, even the damage boost alone from Mantis with your ult will take out various heroes and the backline instantly, so you can just press the Q button without having to land tentacles, etc. Now we see Cap here banned out once more, so again, the double dive Vanguard removed, and I think that's a good decision, but goodbye to that Hela, exactly like we thought.
Exactly, it was either the Namor or the Hela. I think the Hela is definitely the answer to get there. Vision is going to lean over to the Shark if they do have that available, and with that save there, you know, Zealous plays a good Shark as well, but with Vision not having to be on the Namor anymore, they're going to look to flex that up. I expect now the Psylocke Shark kind of comp with that dive push in as well. Adam Warlock going to be banned. I'm actually liking what Navi's putting together here, buddy.
Yeah, again, they're learning, and we knew that was going to be the case. We'll see what they lock in here. I'm curious. It's going to be obviously a staple of their comp, maybe the Warlock again if need be, but yeah, this team looks really, really good.
Yeah, looking at our last save from each side of things, we've got the Psylocke going to the lower half, which we saw Jerky do plenty fine with the ban on the top end. And the last bit of business they can pull, maybe go Mag, don't let them have that full Echo hit, but no, if I'm them, you're going to go with the Jeff opposition. Yeah, that's a smart move.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of off-mapping potential early on attack there with Jeff, even on defense. So looks like that is going to be what we're seeing removed so far. Lock in, obviously, of the Jeff, and it looks like you're saying what you're saying was correct. Vision likely going to be on that Jeff and has found some big games here in this tournament so far, helping them take home some of these wins. But we'll see a little bit of a same composition in terms of just having a lot of bodies coming back after getting KO'd with that BRB and with that Karmic Revival here from Na'Vi, who will be on attack.
Yeah, I like Na'Vi calling on their own number here and saying, you know what, put us on offense first. Let's show them what we're made out of. Let's try to finish this thing strong, and then we know exactly what they need to do to get the job done. Now, as we see the offense approach and what the strat is for Na'Vi, in the defensive end, we got energy over to the Phoenix. So, you know what, take away my Hela, I'll just play the next bit. You know, and listen, a lot of nerfs to Phoenix. Still a very good hero, and we often see that. You know, no Raccoon, though. You sometimes see that on the defensive end to get that huge in-song Inferno ship. Anything jump out to you?
Yeah, I mean, there's also an answer to Rocket, right? I mean, when you do get rid of that Sia instantly there with Phoenix and still find value through it, it's impactful. We talk about the damage boost composition that we've seen from some of these teams, and when there's a low ceiling, you can use Phoenix with Rocket together on the same team to instantly almost KO virtually everyone, because that 40% damage boost is huge, and when you can't break the Phoenix as it's coming down from a low ceiling, it's very detrimental, but it is very niche, and it's forced on specific windows and locations, and holding an ult for something like that is tough to do, so haven't seen a lot of it in this tournament so far. Wow, using the jump there to get up top. Very, very smart. That's actually so smart as a unit. Everybody playing on this high side as one is so cool to see, but he is immediately pushed off. So they've clearly been doing their homework.
Yeah, can't get back up there after that bit off. And, you know, listen, we have the two Jeffs pretty much in this entire tournament here with Vision and Fate, right? So Vision look out to be a big threat here for them. And when you talk about that top hit approach, yeah, now it's going to be, trust me, trying to go on the lower half of things. And again, this kind of just closes off sight lines if you're trying to hide from energy, seeing the rotation happen there. Jerky has his job and his assignment. We'll see if he continues to do that. And look at Spark Chief. I love the aggression, but man, that was a big commitment.
Yeah, big commitment, and on defense, being down a number like that when you have no way right back into the fight is going to force your team to retake, and they are switching spawn essentially in terms of how they're going to attack, but being this separated is dicey because now some of the focus can go towards those coming back from spawn and make it, again, a dangerous situation. But here comes the retake shortly, and out goes that Sia with some really good positioning there from Fate, so the team can use it to its best advantage, almost on the touch, and here comes a huge counter with damage was bang coming down from Naga to immediately shut down Vision. Big play by Naga once more, who is playing a very strong Bucky now. Spark Chief going to be dancing inside of this invisible boundary. Trust me now. Getting the team walk thighs out, cries out from Trust Me. Down goes Cooper, Vess, and Spark Chief. And Navi will start walking off point one.
That's exactly what I thought would help this team, the aggression, and it's all about that first Jeff. Well, first of all, if they can even get there, they did finally, but wow, locked and ready, the comms on, perfect there for Naga, just erasing the Shark into Sushi quite quickly there now with Jerky and Raj, able to have things fueled up for their team as well, and continuing. This is such a point of momentum. Carry on what you had there from the first bit. Plenty of time to get it done. 427 is a lifetime in Rivals. Best trying to look to slow them down. He can start that by hitting the best special, that Meteor M. Let's see what he got.
Yeah, now Alt's going to be slightly in the advantage of FlyQuest in this fight as Fate goes down early there to Energy, who is going to be switching over, also a very strong Bucky player. Vess now taking the space right back, ensuring this cart does not move any more forward. You want to try to force as many fights as possible. The cart is all that matters, folks. Take that into ladder. If your team goes down, make sure you're falling on that cart so that it can't get free space and just force you to have less fights on these various phases. This one being the streets phase. Team's going to drop back now as Vess is going to try to maintain position. He's still doing a good job, but in the back line, team is in danger. It's matched right back by the resurgence from Cooper with a good answer. Jerky going to cancel that and take the height.
Yeah, got what they wanted out of that either way. Remember, Jerky had the most eliminations in this tournament as his sidelock. This man is dangerous here as one ball goes down the other. It finds its mark. It's going to land all blue here for FlyQuest, able to get it done. And this is exact. They had to have the win here. They had the commit, and they also had the pressure with 3 minutes and counting down here now as Zelos gets the finish pick on Naga. 4 reset going to happen here. They have Fate to go with the aggression, and Energy's just trying to find a little bit, maybe opposing his fear to the other team. Right now, man, keep this aggression up if you're Navi, though. I'd go in there with Fate heavy.
Yeah, I like that initial take there, using it to take the height and just get a little more damage out. Built that all already at 30%, so big play there by Energy, which again, just those small little things are huge at this level of play. Jerky gonna find Spark Chief now, keep the space forward, invisible boundary matched right back, and they are holding, but again, down a number now, and Zelos commits that alt. Vision gonna be looking for something as down under with Jeff, gets a huge eat. Would that be able to get off map? Is gonna get walked down, the damage was on Rocket, just juking for days. Vision is gonna hit those bubbles, who tried to set that up prior, but is gonna fall. And that was some really good work there by Fate.
I've got to be honest, I'm actually surprised he tried to go through that pillar because that is kind of something you learn pretty early as a Jeff. It looks like the space is there and you can't go through. Vision as just a veteran Jeff player. Thought that we would not see that, but instead going to try to take that angle. Rough look there because he had 3 with the escape as well, but looks to balance back. That's a brutal one to make up. Spark Chief 2 needs him. We need him to reset if you are a FlyQuest fan. Navi, look at all the part here as Naga's to be close to that Kraken impact.
One thing that I really like there from the side when you're looking at Vision is he preset those bubbles to be able to get more speed boost towards off map, and that's something you should take into ladder, folks. That was big bring.
Yeah, absolutely. Pillar being the only stopping force as now Spark Chief looking again, now can't even find any room to breathe now. Going to quickly go up to 800. Good use there of the strategist and eyes on the prize. This Naga pick would be massive then. Oh my goodness, that's the one you need as Energy finds the best from it. Again, he yells. It's the trademark, if you will, of Energy. The punch, the move, the stagger Energy. This is the FlyQuest special. He hits it from the full court.
From downtown, Vess weaves it over the shield, and still they're going to find another on a Jerky, and that is another big retake there from FlyQuest. Jerky has ultimate available, Naga as well. The answer again from Cooper, whose job at this current moment is to counter every single one of those dances. The dance of the Cutterfly consistently going to be countered right back. Again, these teams just so much good back and forth play. A great first take there from the side of Navi, who are now being held up on the streets phase. 1:12 on here, pulled right through. Trust me, you're going to have to use Diamond. Almost has that Psionic Seduction. Here comes Rosaro with his Meteor M, which bang does land, but just clips the edge of the wall there. Does not do enough damage to anyone, and Vision going to take the height. Is going to find Jerky, and that's great focus. Are you kidding me?
What? Absolute crazy, landing every bit of it. Finds another Naga from afar. Goodness gracious, he's a water type, just born for it. He's evolving in front of our eyes, y'all. Just a Blastoise in the making. I mean, listen, right now, they've got, they took 4 minutes down to 30 seconds just like that. That momentum's so important to carry through. Na'Vi, they've got the Qs ready, though, right? You get Jerky to go ahead and try to bait out Zelos, and then try to roll from there. You gotta hope Vision doesn't land, though, this much. Lunchtime, he's hungry, man. He's starving. He just had the old one not land the connect, so we'll see if we get it again. Energy, though, right there with that impact, Mr. Ship.
Yeah, that Super Soaker has some serious PSI from downtown here, just dealing a ton of damage and able to find 2 in that fight without using an ultimate. That was wild to see. Jerky, though, is going to find Cooper with that damage boost, and that is some really good commitment, and I believe it is going to get them enough value to walk forward a little bit here. Out goes some counter ultimates right back. The team trying to maintain presence on the point as FlyQuest is going to use that. It's Jeff. Vest still holding onto that Meteor M, and that's going to counteract Naga likely. Yes, it is. Up in the sky. A need here from Vision is going to find Trust Me. Try to deal enough damage or at least displace for long enough. Good movement there with the bubble from Vest. Naga still gets a pick there. Spark Chief goes down. Jerky is going to find that. Trust Me, though, even being eaten by Jeff and on that off map is going to come through with full HP and still get a pick. Hand delivering them to the back line once more. And now they are pushing through, and it's going to have to be a forced touch here from FlyQuest with no ultimates, as Trust Me does have that Psionic Seduction.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're really close to everything. I mean, Jerky, we'll see who gets there quicker. It's going to be Cooper or him, and I think it's going to be on the side of Jerky as everyone's kneeling in front of Mother herself, finding good mag bubble to keep Spark Chief in this thing, but it's going to be the quick punch, the diamond form, that makes Vest pay the ultimate price here early, or energy for that matter now, as we look forward to more. It's going to be the slice, the dice. Jerky finds it again, but the undefeatable coming at the same mark. Here comes the up, the down, the slam, the connection. No hit there, as now we find ourselves meters away. The amplifier on. Volume turned all the way up here for Na'Vi as they're just vibing out with confidence.
And Na'Vi walks through point 2 there. That looked very smooth and very coordinated, making sure each ult was utilized before they committed another, ensuring they didn't have to overcommit if not needed. Again, Na'Vi really well played in that moment. I thought the movement there from Fly to counter some of those ults was awesome, but was not enough into the mental capacity of Na'Vi. They just keep pulling through in these streets phases.
Yeah, we're seeing Jerky come online here too, you know, getting a little bit more sharp with the Psylocke lethal that we continue to see now, as Cooper is going to go ahead and try to give this team the edge needed. Again, lethal here, the duelist in the strategist position, if you will. Now good rotation once again. Kraken Impact coming online for energy. Gonna try to find more, try to get the look over here as Vision does his part as well. Naga with the legendary, again, Galactic Legend up, and in that the invisible boundary. Vest gonna go ahead and counter that as well with the Meteor M, so a double defensive effort here. Gotta make the most of that if you're Vest with no connection to it. That's one they might want back, Ship, as they're using a lot to try to keep themselves alive, and you belong to me. Shouted from the echoes is Trust Me pushing in. This is the aggression that they continue to have and what makes this team great.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great retake there. Level 1 Krug gonna find Spark Chief now with a nice early pick on a Vanguard in the front line. Out goes that dance, so the Cutterfly does not seem to find anyone. Frozen right after landing with a Kraken Impact is a huge freeze, and notice how none of the team is gonna wake that freeze up. A huge eat here from Vision, who might be able to escape. No, not for long, as there is no follow-up. Rojaro with a 2-piece now, and Fate gonna find Vest, and Na'Vi are gonna keep this momentum in OT, heading towards point 3.
Yeah, they fully committed there. I almost wanted them to reset and then kind of take this last bit in the final hole, but they went all in. Vision unable to find success there, and the clock stoppers on energy right before he hits the ground. My gosh, now time is ticking. Overtime on the meters as well. Rojaro trying to land one that hits, does not connect this time, but the spin to win. Oh, the quick hit from Naga going down. Ship, this is the final moments.
Oh, wow.
This would be a massive hold and a massive victory for Na'Vi. Trust Me finds more. Crook, Jerky getting it done for them.
Yeah, and everybody's trading, but this time more in the favor of Na'Vi as Rojaro finds Vest. Down goes Cooper, and they are falling quickly like dominoes, and that should be 3 points.
That is an absolute massive win for Na'Vi, being at 20 seconds at the front of the line there, and just a complete, honestly, a bit of a falling of the tower there if you are FlyQuest, with some of those ults just not finding success there. Again, wish maybe would have held on to those towards that back end. You never know if you're going to get enough time, so you do have to try to set up with what you have. But with the early pick, again, that clock stopper moment, that Crook hit on energy was insane. The man was literally punching the ground as you saw him come down. The tentacles were put away there once again. But taking a look, you know, at least you got the time all the way down. FlyQuest just has a match.
Yeah, I mean, that timing of that freeze has to be perfect with that CC immunity. Like, this is just such high level of play. You see this team back against the wall. Na'Vi is just so good. Being able to do that in OT on point 3, which is a very defensible position, your spawn incredibly close to where the point ends, usually lends itself to, you know, very difficult to push through. But even in OT, halfway through that point, they just stay consistent. They find picks, they get one, and the team rushes forward. As you see Jerky there with 11 finals, 7 on the side of Trust Me, who really seems to value that Emma at this moment. Rajaro, 18 and 3. The entirety of this team looking so strong. A ton of damage out there across the board. And we will have to see a strong performance from Fly to push this to overtime.
Yeah, honestly, the stat line is beautiful. We're actually seeing just the best of the best get highlighted. I mean, Crook in the strategist position is just so dang good. If you're a strategist player, you got to take notes there. And Raj was not connecting so much on those meteor imps. If he lands those, this team's going to get the easy dub here because he's continued to play that real well as well. But again, it's going to be Vess and Spark Chief on the Vanguard side of the FlyQuest. Spark Chief going to open up the portal. They know exactly where to expect it. Get on that health pack early. Spark Chief now going over to the Venom, I'm sure, to go ahead and catch up with the team as they all fly in. No, going to be the Angela, the one-wing Angel ship.
Yeah, and notice the portal play there was to try to isolate the back line, but the communication from the front line saying, hey, nobody has pushed up, they're portaling, the team elected to drop back together, so nobody was there upon that portal spawning through. So again, just another smart play by Na'Vi to ensure no one gets picked in these early fights and not give up this point too quickly, try to burn some time here. So they rotate spawn now, very similar to what we saw prior, but the only difference from the strategy from Na'Vi on that high side right is that there is no trade in terms of value in numbers. Everybody's still evened out right now in this fight. Best in a dangerous spot, going to force out some cooldowns as they walk forward. Angela there from Spark Chief, going to put some pressure on the height as Naga is on energy, and the trade is 1-to-1 here as Rajaro's down in energy. Zelos now falls from Naga in the height, and Spark Chief at 18 HP does go down with a chase there from Jerky.
I was going to say, Raj going down was probably bigger for FlyQuest there, losing out the Vanguard and able to push into the defensive wall, but no, unable to connect, and the finish and the flush from Na'Vi. Like we highlighted, in other game modes, you start to see the whole picture come together, what Na'Vi does so well as Cooper. Oh, the stagger is going to be brutal here. Cooper, get back to your team there. You can find the forced way, if you will. But yeah, good job here as now set up for success, have the amplifier. Jerky can try to get something out if he wants to. Cooper's still a little bit away.
Yeah, it's going to switch to that Luna, and one thing I wanted to call out as we're looking at stats, level 1 Crook on this Luna with very, only falling a few times. Luna, very diveable, though still has that defensive cooldown, is kind of in a dangerous spot right now with how strong dive is in this meta, so being able to only fall a few times like that just goes to show how strong level 1 Crook is, who is, again, that MVP at midseason Worlds as they took home the cup there. Vision now going to be engaging here on that Phoenix, a comp we don't see as traditionally. Rajaro finds one. Energy now onto Naga with the reset, trying to find more. Bait's going to bring back Naga, so the number's back in their favor again. Jerky going to find Cooper, and they're still holding on to all these ults as Jerky gets another Trust Me on a Vest, and FlyQuest is crumbling at this moment into Na'Vi, who are looking so strong.
Yeah, not even giving them an inch, man. And if you look at what they had to use, really nothing, right? They just got it done easily, and it's Jerky, again, just really showing up here, and they've got everything they need to continue on. There's only 1 minute and 30 seconds left. FlyQuest is going to have to win a battle they are not favored in right now. If the house was betting, looking at it, hey, we've seen this song and dance before. Zelos here going to be looking at potentially setting up the Guardian boundary to get things rolling for them right away. Invisible Barrier is going to be the first thing that's up for them. They're going to try to use it aggressively, it looks like here, Shiv, as once again we do have the in-song as well. It's going to go ahead and have the flash, the dash, and the finish. Spark Chief pushing in. Alex trying to get down Crook. The big difference maker of that team, shield is up. Butterfly 2 effect, can't use it. Aggressive now going on to the defense.
Oh, good pullback in there with the force physics from Zelos to force Jerky early on, and I'm telling you, that is a huge pick. As out goes the Galactic Legend Eden by Vass, who tried to land it out of the sky. Does not work out, and that's a tough look, but does eat enough damage for the team to stay healthy. Match right back now by Cooper, walking forward here with the Fate of Both Worlds, and now is Rajaro's chance at it, playing by that shield, but it does land, but it's just not enough. Good work on the movement there. These teams' movement, the movement is crazy, keeping the pressure on.
That would have been the best POV of all time for that hit the Star-Lord at the end. You saw the purple there at the end, but Energy able to dodge yet again from Rajaro. But you are going to have the res back. Trust me, getting that res is a big one at that. The Vanguard going right back to full. Ain't going to allow the cooldowns with it. Going to hit the top of the building. Nothing from there. From Vision, trying to get this team a little bit of life and finding the white room. Once again, Vision, though, does find Jerky. That's a big one at that. Spark Chief pushes in. It's Energy. Spark Chief giving this team more life. They could not find on point 1.
Wow,
Man,
wow. That was insane damage on the back line there. Beautiful work by level 1 Crook to find that pick and turn the momentum heavily backwards. on Energy, who tried to make that play. Who's going to force the portal now through. No ults available here for FlyQuest. No ults available for Na'Vi just yet, but Spark going to find one on the level 1 Crook, and that's a huge pick, as that puts them up heavily in terms of strategists or just raw healing numbers. Naga on this height is very close to this ult and looking for it quickly. Playing around that. Oh, good ult on the counter, but it is matched right back there. Oh, they doubled up as Cooper did the same, switching to damage to try to get this pick onto Trust Me, and they do.
Yeah, they see that now at least you can go damage mode, right? So you have one for the sustain, DPS for the rest. They do end up finding success here. Good for them. But I mean, I'm telling you, what an absolute way to get things rolling for the team. Only 2.5 minutes compared to the nearly 5 that Na'Vi had to work with. But and I gotta say, someone get this guy a skill cape. Level 1 Crook needs to be level 99. He's absolutely cooking.
Yeah, the experience is flowing here for level 1 Crook. But again, FlyQuest, a little bit of overcommitment in that moment, is going to make this next few fights difficult, as they are going to be low. Zelos getting that ult back relatively quickly, though, at 33%. Level 1 Crook there at 58. Fate with some really good timing I want to highlight, using that Sia, that Cosmic Yarn amplifier, right after Vision landed. Good patience on that to ensure it doesn't get deleted there by the Phoenix.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the fear going up to go ahead and stop what is the legendary, but 1-2, make it 3, Shib. Absolute pure domination there, even with the best Meteor M for the defensive play. It's all the offense on Naga, looking all the more confident here on that early trade and battle. FlyQuest committing a lot as well.
Not only with a 3-piece, but 2 ultimates pulled that got no value. You can't get more value than that, folks. That is a huge ultimate there by Naga, who has been really loving Peter Quill. And here comes the engagement now from FlyQuest. Energy with that Kraken impact. Seen some success in the past. Sparksheet does have the chance here to keep the team healthy in the back line, to hold on until Cooper can get that ult back. Same with Zelos, who's at 90%. As we begin now, here comes that dance of the butterfly from Jerky out of the back line. Good focus, and they do find 3 through it, as the whole team is going to pressure in. 1 minute on, Sparkchief likely going to reset or drop out, and yes, Rajaro going to find Vess. FlyQuest with even ults across the board in terms of against Na'Vi, and Rajaro going to try to take this space to try to get an off map here with the right click.
Yeah, masterclass in ult tracking, right? They knew exactly to go ahead and pull the trigger on the Dance of the Butterflies, because there's going to be nothing to stop it. A little bit of diamond kicks in there too, and it's all but over. Trust Me does have the seduction as well to try to keep energy at bay if they go in that way now. Cooper's Zealous, they got to lock in. They cannot double ult at the same time. We've seen that a couple times now. A little bit off of what FlyQuest usually does. Raj has that Meteor M once again. Will this one connect? Doesn't matter how many you get if the one that matters the most hits. Now as we see the seduction coming out from Trust Me, trying to land this thing, Chib, and it's going to be the full commit from Na'Vi for another 3rd defensive effort.
Yeah, and there was a couple ults there committed, but the side of FlyQuest dropped back. But this could be huge here from Rajaro, looking at Energy, who does get bubbled up. Really well done, and patience again by Vess, but Rajaro still going to find Cooper, which is a huge pick here on their side, as Na'Vi's keeping this pressure forward. 8 seconds on, having to commit that all. Naga very slowed in that boundary, still able to escape, as out goes Phoenix from Vision with the Endsong Inferno, and here comes Naga heavy onto the front line now. A ton of damage out. Trust Me, going to find Vess. There's a second pick onto Energy. That is 2. Make it 3 here shortly, as they are dropping away. Will the portal come through to touch? It will not at the moment, and that is going to be a W here for Na'Vi.
Wow, Na'Vi picked the map and they said, yeah, call my name. Let's set those expectations early. From point 1, I thought would give them the advantage into what was the different of the strat bands, and Dahela loved everything about it. They stuck with the Emma base. They carried on from there. Pure great performance from them, and you're happy to see it. Wow, Jerky, welcome back to the spotlight, my guy. Absolute craziness as we take a look at the final stats, Shib, and it's going to help tell the story of what we just saw.
I mean, that was really well played. Jerky with 19. Their Energy obviously was 16, 33, 31, and 33k damage respectively up the board. Jerky, Naga, excuse me, and Trust Me. Are you joking me? That is so much damage on that team.
Yeah, man, and look at the difference of the eliminations on the strategist front. Fate and Crook were able to stay alive nearly that entire time on the defensive effort. Cooper and Zelos really making a permanent home there in the spawn room for a bit. Looking at all together, that was a big difference maker, obviously, as we see then the big gap in the healing, even though we did have Vision on Jeff a little bit to make up the difference. But yeah, taking a look at the highlights, what we just saw from this action, would you expect anything else, folks, except the 1-to-1 from the ones, Shib, as we find ourselves in a match 3?
Yeah, both teams looking to come out here on top in terms of the seeding. They want to ensure they get to the big stage in the best position possible. Gotta shout out how beautiful that engagement, that start was here for Na'Vi. Everybody on their team taking the height there, using that rocket jump. That is some big brain strategy that you don't see often, folks. This team very much known for doing that, but it could not be countered. The idea to push them off was there, but it just only got one as the whole team pushed in through point one, and that gave them enough time to make sure they could press through point two, which was not able to happen from the side of FlyQuest.
Yeah, they really handled point two with excellence, as we saw a little bit of the end there from Trust Me. The classic America versus EMEA is living up to the hype, folks. The best of the best duel it out here in Marvel Rivals Atlanta, Georgia. Zelos and the strategist look to reset with Cooper. We'll see what they pick here when we go into our final hit, man. Listen, with the domination going down early, it's so hard to recover like that in a best of three. Big props to Navi getting it done.
It's going to have to be Convoy now, folks, but again, this is going to be the map chosen by FlyQuest, so this is obviously something that they are going to take. All these scrims are going to be insane, but we are going to see if they can bounce back and take back the W from Navi right after this break.
Which ones have what it takes to become the best of the best?
The fight is going to happen right here, right now.
Hey, we're Navi.
And we're here in Atlanta to win the grand finals in Marvel Rivals.
It's time to go 2 for 2.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back yet again. We find ourselves in map number 3 between these two top heavy fights, my friend. And listen, again, this could be the early preview of the grand finals, but seeding on the line, being undefeated, going into the knockout stage, also there, it's lived up to it, man.
Yeah, there's a couple things we need to see from these teams. We saw a little bit of overcommitment. First off, I want to shout out to that insane start there from Navi, which they are known for, taking that height. I mean, using those rocket jumps to have the whole team position up in that high side angle, which sometimes you'll see a Namor take with Bubble, and then the rest of the team goes down main. Having your whole team up there is a unique thing that teams don't really scrim against a lot. It's unique, so it definitely worked out. But you and I talked in the green room. That alt utilization was a little bit strange from both sides.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, if they did not go with the Mantis and the Invis there to endpoint 1, FlyQuest would have had something to respond to Naga and what they did as well. And Vez pulling up that Meteor M after 2 already fell. There's just a bit disorganization. We keep calling it out today. Like, once you kind of stumble, you know, it can kind of lead to more.
Yeah.
But right now, you know, just like Navi just did, FlyQuest, you're picking the map. And looking at what we do have for the map choices, I mean, listen, we're going to be finding ourselves over here in Convoy, and it's not going to be Yggdrasil, I don't think. My guess is Shib is Midtown or Spider Island, most likely. They play Spider Island great. We've seen them in Midtown be pretty flawless as well. Favors a lot of what this team likes to do in terms of the play with Vision and Jeff and so on. We've got like Noah Racco, by the way.
Yeah, again, these teams have had success a lot, as we are going to be seeing them going to Midtown. So if you look at their past history, especially, you know, because how often they've been winning, a lot of these stats on these maps, it's like, you know, they have been winning a lot of these different maps. What would they choose? But Midtown is going to be the choice, and that's going to lend itself for that triple comp.
Absolutely, and hey, we'll see if we get the Trust Me All on the New York hometown favorite. Once again, we find ourselves in the pick ban phase. It's been Emma and Mantis time and time again. Will it be swapped up? Honestly, if you're Navi, I'd stick with it because the plan has worked thus far, and there it is. Yet again, we see Emma Frost, White Queen, not being available there for FlyQuest, and once again, to lock in the same pick bans. And kind of just tells us the tale with the Emma save, the Loki ban. We know what they're going to do down on the bottom. Let's see who they ban next up, though. This is where I expect to be some changes from FlyQuest. We'll see if they go in yet again with something that slowed down what was the absolute heat here in Ignite from Navi on Wakanda.
Yeah, and again, I think Trust Me is really valuing here, and obviously for those who don't know, maybe haven't been here much in the past, Trust Me does a great job leading the bans here for his team. There is communication across the board, but typically leads comms and bans with some help of teammates. But very much valuing that Emma, who has been locked a ton in this tournament, a very strong Vanguard that bullies frontline. And if you're going to be running triple, having a Vanguard that can bully the frontline is a huge win. Again, even more value here in locking out and making sure they remove Loki, which in this more dive-focused meta has been taking a huge bump in terms of where he's located in the meta.
Absolutely. I mean, they're sticking with what has worked there, and no damage boost for FlyQuest and those lanterns that cover the entire map. I swear, Shib, you look at Captain America being banned. Again, trust me, not going to get that hometown favorite. As we just pointed out, the Atom as well in return. This is a team that plays Atom very well, and so they continue to just go with what the game plan has been. If you're FlyQuest, you should expect that, though, and adjust here on the back end, the save going to what I would expect to be potential. You know, they could go a couple ways. The Hela is what I was hoping, though.
Yeah, they're going to lock out.
Yeah, and
they got to get rid of Namor again. Yeah. See, that's the tricky thing, and that's, again, just smart play by Navi. That's a comp that they run so successfully. Let's remove it right now. I have no doubt. Unless something, maybe they do a Vanguard, I guess, to help shut down the triple. But odds are it is going to be Namor here, and then back to maybe locking in a Vanguard for themselves. Yeah, yes, that is the case. So again, a smart play. This team's banning very, very well.
It is, and honestly, I think maybe you can still rotate and have Vision go over to the Jet. The Psylocke save, though, why not with Jerky and what he was able to do? Again, the new addition to this squad is really showing up for the part with the ban now. They're gonna have the team up with Emma. The Jeff is going to be banned. Cannot allow Fate to continue to end the fate of FlyQuest in the form of the baby shark. Jerky showing Iron Fist. Don't think we'll see it, but a little tip of the cap maybe to Mulan Ron. But we might because it is the offense. A couple approaches, right? The Moon Knight. There's a few things you can roll out here.
Yeah, the blade's there. I'm not sure we'll see it, but, if you are going to combo with anything, it would be that Groot hug, that you like to call it right there with that strangling prison, because that that reduction in healing can be a huge detriment and help you sweep right through Mantis Assault, because Mantis can still be CC'd in that ultimate, so you actually can be stuck there, and then when you have that reduction in healing, you are in trouble. But, I don't know if it'll happen, but it is something to call out.
Absolutely. Chat, viewers, you're watching it right now. Drop it in. What one seed is going to win? We've got FlyQuest versus Navi here on match number 12 to end our final day. We have more matches coming to you, but this one is electric, and we see the defensive effort. We'll pay attention to that roster at the moment. Jerky going to be going to the Storm for the damage boost, but other than that, kind of what we expected. Energy, Star-Lord play here is so good, right? And maybe, just maybe, they had the Hela save just to force the Namor, and then they continue on that Star-Lord, instead.
Exactly, and that's another smart play by Fly. I think that was exactly what they were looking to do there. There's no other option but to get rid of Namor, so allowing them to play something they want to consistently play here as we start once more. Change up right off that blade quickly. Well, the Squirrel Girl here from Naga, which does a good job shutting down triple, but in this moment, there is no triple. It's more traditional, actually, with this 3 triple strategist as we see a switch in comp.
I was going to say first in the tournament there. I was like, we got the SQ coming out. Naga doesn't know what he wants to play right now, buddy.
Another swap there to the Bucky, who, is just so strong in this meta. We've talked about it already in this match here. Vision is going to be on that Jeff. Cooper on the Mantis that does get through in this moment. It's going to be heavily damage boosting Energy, and we'll see Energy a lot of the time using that spin to win over the back line. Spark Cheat falls though from Jerky, and you gotta say, this Psylocke has looked so good, it may have been worth removing.
Yeah, Jerky there with the quick finish. If you're Spark Chief, you got to identify that they have everything to stop you in your tracks there, and you can't get that early pick now. Now that forces FlyQuest to completely rotate back and give so much space to Na'Vi on a point, you know, that they both have Strange, they have access to the portal. Jerky finding himself at 1 HP twice. Wow, lives through it. Absolutely insanity. And able to get the 1-2 quick pop there.
Wow.
Spark Chief is going to find a little bit of lunch there in Fate. Vision going down to Raj, though. Ooh.
Yeah, and another pick here from Jerky. Ults available for Na'Vi, and there's that commitment. Gonna find another on a Vest now, and it's a match right back by Cooper on the back line. Not sure how I feel. I guess they are just going to try to fall on point here to bide more time, but not sure it was necessary. A little bit of maybe overcommitment, or just likely going to see a switch up here in comp.
Again, both these teams punch their ticket through, but it's all about pride here as they find themselves getting point 1 pretty confidently. They're going to be able to push, though, and at least sustain this thing forward, Vision. Vest, Energy, and Zelos locked and loaded here, but plenty of response there from Trust Me, who's going to go ahead and use this. Oh, defensively doesn't even want to use the Meteor Imp. Trust the full rotation and the respect there from his team. Lockstep and communication. Energy just trying to find something from it. Wow, what patience from the team.
Yeah, I mean, really good movement there.
that,
Trust
dude.
me, gonna find Cooper early on here with the Meteor Rev, and there goes that boundary, and that Meteor lands from Vest onto Jerky's, and you're not the only one that can throw the rocks here, as Spark Chief gonna engage here with the Feast of the Abyss very shortly. The combination, using those tentacles first to do even more damage, essentially count to 2 to land it at the same time as Energy now finds Naga, and that is another good trade for Fly, who are coming back with a vengeance. Level 1 Crook in a dangerous spot. Out goes that Crystal, burning 25% of the HP of the max HP of anyone you do pull that from, for those who maybe didn't know that. And again, good retake by Fly.
Yeah, we had 2 swish of the basket, the bigger one being on Jerky there. He had the ult update ready, so it was a good job to get him out of that fight. Was about to go into the backline too, so he was able to clean that out just in time. So that was a huge one from Vest, but I love Trust Me's patience, able to at least punish a little bit after that ult, but now it's going to be a good retake. I mean, this was bigger than it looks. Minute 19 seconds left, man, and they had the whole recharge on the ult. Looking at it, Vision going to go ahead and just try to separate the team here as he finds himself a huge lunch. They're going to have to stack up, nothing to respond to it. Finds 2, including Crook, who's got himself the ult, and he's going to take them all the way away as he's now just trying to find a nice little hotel suite for them.
Yeah, and this is a 4 stagger. This is a really good plays.
Wow.
The neutral pick from both. I mean, again, we saw that early pick there from Vest. It was matched right back. A huge Jet Vault coming in. FlyQuest still holding on to 2 ultimates. Even through that, again, Na'Vi maybe playing a little bit right now, nervous at the moment. Looked so good off the start, but FlyQuest came back with a vengeance, taking that point and really making some big plays. Energy holding on here with the Galactic Legend. Cooper does have an answer, and Vest as well to try to counter potentially Naga or make a big play on a Jerky if available once more.
There's Energy throwing what he does best. The Galactic Legend is going against the show of Crook, keeping them up alive. Cooper also going to undefeated pull the entire Soul Resurgence of this team and giving them a surge towards victory now as the sword is out and Jerky's looking for what they've done so good now. Trust Me trying to follow up as well. We have no connection. Ults are flying, Qs are pressed, but no limbs in the grave so far now as Vest pushes forward, has that Meteor Imp as well. Disappear up. This is going to be that moment.
Oh.
Fate. Oh,
that was a huge, that was a huge feast right there on a level 1 Crook in the back line who was trying to stay healthy, but the dive is just too much. Vest lands, but it does not find enough value. Yes, it does, as Energy cleans up Naga there, and everyone is falling now as OT ticks down. That's another pick here for Vest, looking towards the back line. Trust Me in a dangerous spot as Spark Chief cleans that up. Cooper on a Fate, and the OT is ticking down. This could be it here for Na'Vi on this push, and it is.
An absolute performance. What a way to just stop the absolute threat that is Na'Vi for a team that's so aggressive. Best way is to put that light out quickly here. A tremendous job from FlyQuest on the defensive front there as we look towards now what will have to be quite literally for the dang history books if Na'Vi wants to put this defense up.
And you can hear the hype behind us from this matchup already being intense. Now it's all about the attack here from FlyQuest. Na'Vi, a team that is incredibly smart. Can they do this right back at them, but hold them a little bit tighter? Again, this is a map that is known for spawn holding, or not necessarily spawn holding, but point 1 holding. And they did push this point very far, so it does enable a few fights guaranteed for them. It's just a matter of can Fly clutch up, but they have been known for doing that.
Absolutely, here is just pure. I wish you guys could feel the energy here at LAN and you could experience yourself shortly. Again, this is one stream we have going on over here. It's a 1-1 FlyQuest Na'Vi. The other side, y'all, is Envy versus Chopper Mag. Winner going to be going on most likely from that. I think now Envy has to win against VP as well with what they have going over there. Both streams, just pure entertainment. But right now, it's the final fight. It's Na'Vi ready to go on the defensive front. And hey, you know, Vision going to flex the scroll for 5 seconds as well. And maybe they roll it out. Energy's been dead deadly on this Conchu.
Oh, yeah. No, this is a really good choice for Energy against these compositions. We've seen it a lot in the past, but looking like not going to actually run at the moment. But, you know, definitely an option. They definitely discussed it likely as they do start up here now once more with the exact same comp that ran in on the defense. Naga is going to be now back on that Warlock, which they have found success with, but there will be no copy for the double res. Instead, Fate is going to be on that Cloak, which we've seen a lot from Fate in this tournament. Really loves that damage from the Terror Cloak.
And again, some teams like to be on offense first, others defense. We saw that with Navi and what they picked there. And this time around, when you know where you have to go and it's only this far, you can play your ults differently, right, Shib?
Yeah.
As we take a look here, as Energy's climbing up and ready, Spark Chief at 50 as well. Jerky's going to have to get a lot of free little hits there, but it's not going to find success early, as now it's going to be Vision getting the quick pick. Jerky could be having to swap over to the Doctor Strange. No, it's going to be probably Trust Me in that role instead. Holy, Spark Chief finding the whole lunch.
Yeah, that was a huge play from Spark, heavily distracting the back line, looking for another. Vest going to clean up Naga, another fall here from Fate, and this is a huge take here from FlyQuest and Momentum, trying to hold them at the door now. They may not be able to get the portal through. Yes, they are, as the portal is starting it from Rajaro, as it will fight right near exactly where they're looking for this ambulance. But again, that was a fast take, really well played by Spark Chief onto the back line, coming in, finding two after that is a huge play, and here goes the next fight now. Spark Chief available with the Feast of the Abyss goes down. Energy going to find Naga, a huge eat there of the Feast, and out comes a huge bond, and this is going to keep the team healthy for the moment as Naga is building towards that ult, trying to res on top, but not enough percentage just yet as Jeff is going to find that pick, and that could be huge. Back in here, the team just trying to focus up, ensure that it's not on the bond, and try to take that 1v1 as a match again with the dance floor up in the sky, and here comes a huge throw, but it does not land this time, and once again another ult here from Trust Me, trying to make them walk in trance with the Psionic Seduction, kicked into a wall on the back line, matched right back once more by Jerky with the Galactic Legend, but everybody is just trading and positioning as Spark Chief gets the first pick, make it now matched right back by Jerky onto Zelos, onto the strat line.
Yeah, now Naga's going to have potentially the chance to come back here. Great job from them being and having patience over and over in the sustainability, but time is ticking, folks. There's no meters to give, my friends, as Jerky now continuing to flip, dodge, and tip there. As Peter Quill now, the Augmentor opens up, lands down, Raj tries to find success. Rise comes the rest of Navi, but it's going to be short-lived there with the quick success of Fly now trying to get and move on, but everyone's coming back into this fight. Minute and 40 Shib on the clock. The ults are reset, ready to load, but Energy look for this legendary. Fate's gonna have to match it, but no, by Spark Chief.
Spark Chief finds one there onto the back line, frozen immediately low. Down goes the E cooldown. Zelo's gonna find Trust Me. That's now out of Rajaro, and that's gonna do it. FlyQuest take home the first seed out of this bracket.
They are flying high into the grand finals knockout stage, Shib, and we found ourselves the 1 seed. FlyQuest, Navi lived every bit up to it. If Wakanda was the hometown advantage for Navi, well, my friend, it's gonna be New York there for FlyQuest. How fitting for the America team.
What an absolute match to watch. Vest going to come in once again with this MVP, and we've said it time and time again, one of the best Magnetos in this game. It may be worth removing that from the table, especially, you know, maybe not getting rid of the Emma. They're valuing Emma a ton on Navi, and it's been successful, especially on map 2 there. But wow, FlyQuest looked very good. You know, shout out to Spark Chief, too, on those attacks.
Yeah, I was going to say Spark Chief really rose up at the end there, and I've got to say, yeah, I have not seen a defensive effort that well against Navi. Listen, you're talking about the former champs. Right now, this is the team to beat. I don't care who's rising up and down.
Sure.
They're the mid-season champs, right? Your FlyQuest didn't even qual for mid-seasons.
Yeah.
What a way to go into the most important stage of this entire thing. But yeah, man, from start to finish, I'm just excited to see both these teams there.
Yeah.
And what is going to be an inevitable clash at some point between the two. But yeah, highlight the whole